everyone, my name is Shannon Doleski and I am the author of Mary Underwater. It's an upper middle grade about a girl who builds and pilots her own submarine across the Chesapeake Bay. And today I'm going to talk about some tips of how I choose my own reading books. Just like kids and grown-ups, authors sometimes fall into a rut where we can't read. And I like to pick books kind of like how I pick movies and how I pick music. So that is my tip, is that what I do is once I find someone I like a writer, I really like their voice, then I read everything that they've ever written. And I do the same thing with music and movies. If I like a director, I'll watch all their movies. If I like an actor or actress, I'll watch all their stuff too. So my advice is once you find someone you like, stick with them and see if you like the rest of their books too.
Hi, my name is Tanya Guerrero. I'm the debut author of the middle grade book, How to Make Friends with a C. I just wanted to briefly talk about how I pick middle grade books to read. I guess when we're kids, when I was a middle grader and I was picking middle grade books for myself, obviously the cover and the jacket design has a lot to do with how I ended up picking books I read. But the description in the back of the book is also really important. And actually, as an adult middle grade reader, of course, covers still are really important to me. But I think since I prefer generally to read contemporary stories, I kind of really look for a summary in the book jacket or in the web portal description that will already give me like an emotional pull. I kind of feel like I have to have something either in common with the protagonist or some sort of inciting incident that I can relate to, or something that really intrigues me. As somebody who reads primarily contemporary stories, I really love quiet books. Books that don't necessarily have splashy stories, but are generally grounded in emotional arcs as opposed to plot arcs so much. I love seeing protagonists struggle and being able to overcome some something emotional that's happened to them in the story. I do also read fantasy, but for me, fantasy, I'm a lot more selective about the fantasy that I read. I love fantasy that's grounded in reality, like some that have magical realism elements. And if it has a really complex world building, I love to read about worlds that are unique and different, whether it's a cultural aspect or something that's really interesting, something that's unique and different. So that's basically it. As a reader, for me, I really just basically go with my gut. I generally have a really strong feeling about books when I see them, and usually that's, you just got to trust your gut. If you think it's going to be a book that you or your child or your student might relate to, then it's probably going to be a good title for you to pick up.
Hi, I'm Janae Marks, author of the middle grade novel From the Desk of Zoe Washington, and I'm going to tell you how I choose my next book to read. So one of the things that I really like to do is to reach out to my friends for their recommendations. So I'll reach out to one of my fellow book nerds and say, hey, what have you been reading lately? Is there any book that you can let me know that you really liked? And, usually they can come back with some really great options for me. I think for me, the personal recommendation from a friend who I know might have the same kind of reading taste as I do is helpful, because when you're just at a bookstore or library and you just see a whole bunch of books on the shelf, it's really hard to know what to choose and what actually might, whether the book will actually be as good as it sounds. And so having that personal recommendation really makes a big difference for me. So I suggest you reach out to your friends, ask them what kind of books they've been enjoying. And if for whatever reason you don't have a lot of friends who read, which, I hope that you do, I say reach out to your teachers or librarians and ask them for what book recently that they've really enjoyed that they feel like you might like. A lot of times your teachers and librarians might know your personality or know the kind of books you're into and can give you that personal recommendation. So my big tip is to ask for personal recommendations, ask your friends and family members and other people like what books they're enjoying, and use it as a jumping off point to kind of create a list of books that you want to read in the future. Happy reading!
Hi, I'm Lorien Lawrence, the author of the Fright Watch series, and today I'm here to talk to you about how do I find a book? I'm a 7th grade English teacher, and I hear it from students all the time. They say, there's nothing to read, I don't know how to find a book, there's nothing out there, everything's boring, and we all know that's not true, right? So my advice to you would be to ask the right questions. Instead of just saying, there's nothing to read, or everything's boring, or that's too long, or that whatever, tell your teacher or your librarian what kind of TV shows you like to watch, or what kind of movies you like to watch. Are you really into the Marvel movies, like the Avengers? Then maybe they can recommend an action series that is comparable to that. Are you really into mysteries and you like to watch something and try to figure out what's happening and find all the clues? Then I'm sure they'd be able to find you a really great mystery. Point is, you don't have to know what genre you like. You may not even know what genre you like. But if you can tell or vocalize what kind of movie or TV show you were last really, really into, then I can almost guarantee your teacher or librarian is going to be able to help you find something that's comparable. So don't be afraid to ask. Bye.